In 2001, I was working in a small research lab in West Africa. Every day, my colleagues and I strove to do great work with limited resources. We even went so far as to wash and reuse disposable plastic test tubes. But even so, that lab helped produce dozens of new varieties of rice that are providing food and income to people across Africa. It was a lesson I could not forget, even after I came back home to continue my career as a scientist. Seeding Labs is about making the best use of our material resources. It's about catalyzing the science community here to help their colleagues around the world. And it's about connecting all of these talented people so that together they can work faster to find the cures, the crops, the variety of solutions that the world needs. Our goal is to meet the equipment needs of 45,000 scientists by the end of 2016. Each of them will go on to train hundreds of other future researchers, doctors, pharmacists, and teachers. That means the work we do now will affect millions of people in the years to come. In order to achieve this, we need three kinds of partners. First, we need equipment donors, research institutions and manufacturers that want their surplus to make a difference, and will help us by providing the equipment they no longer need. We need partners in transportation and logistics to help us get that equipment to the scientists who need it most. And we need funding partners who will help us meet the growing needs and build this movement of aspiring innovators around the world. Seeding Labs leverages material and human resources for science through a wide network of partnerships. We're connected to dozens of companies, universities, and nonprofits in the U.S. and over 50 countries worldwide. These relationships allow us to leverage the massive surplus of lab equipment here, reducing waste and costs at home, and provide this equipment to the scientists worldwide who need it and will make the best use of it. We also work with our partner companies and organizations, tapping into their technical and scientific expertise to train others and to spark new collaborations nationally and internationally. Part of our effectiveness comes from really understanding the needs and processes of all the different sectors we work with, from multinational private companies to public universities all over the world. We're always improving our own procedures to be more efficient and impactful in logistics, in identifying and building good partnerships, and in making sure the equipment we provide not only arrives, but is shared and maintained. Most of all, we listen to what our colleagues in the developing world need and want, so that we not only provide them with appropriate equipment, but also training, publicity, exposure, and introductions to other leaders in their fields. We measure success in the number of scientists and students who benefit from our programs. We also track their research outcomes and the self-sustainability of their labs. We've transferred over $1 million of equipment to 18 countries. Our first cohort of partner labs has, on average, doubled their research funding since getting their startup package of equipment from Seeding Labs. They've published over 125 publications and secured a patent. Each one of them goes on to train thousands of students over his or her career, creating a multiplier effect for years to come. A common misconception is that any used lab equipment is fit for donation. While we deeply appreciate the desire of all donors to help, we maintain a high standard of quality for our equipment. We are sending tools to talented scientists running critical projects, and they deserve equipment that is accurate, maintainable, and up to date. Another important aspect of Seeding Labs, we are not only about equipment. We run programs to bring talented scientists from the developing world to the U.S. to train, and send young scientists from the U.S. abroad to provide training, meet their peers, and cement global cooperation. We've created 3 highly successful programs. The Equipment Transfer Program is the core of our work and the foundation for all the other programs. Through our Fellows Program, we've brought groups of up-and-coming scientific leaders to the U.S. They worked in world-class labs, and we developed curricula for them to address key scientific and professional skills. Our Ambassadors Program sends highly qualified scientists from the U.S. to universities in the developing world. We are so proud to see the alumni of these programs being promoted in their universities, winning competitive grants, and attending international conferences, and watching as the relationships that were sparked through these exchange programs lead to ongoing joint research programs and lifelong friendships. Our central challenge is acquiring enough equipment to meet the needs of scientists in the developing world. This is especially true for certain sophisticated items or key pieces of infrastructure that are universally needed for research. We often have far more requests for these tools than we can meet. We work with many U.S.-based academic and corporate partners, but the need is ever expanding. We need to create partnerships with more organizations across the U.S. to be able to equip our labs with the tools they need. Additional resources will allow us to reach 10 times more scientists in the next 5 years. We will be able to train staff at our partner universities to fix and maintain equipment. This ensures the sustainability and usability of the equipment. Finally, we would expand our special programs like our scientific grant writing course and launch our Global Science Corps, sending young U.S. scientists overseas to work with their peers, provide training, and develop joint research projects. A key gap is the lack of ongoing technical expertise in the developing world. When equipment is in need of maintenance and repairs, it can be difficult to find someone locally with the expertise. You might have to fly a technician from South Africa all the way to Ghana. We would like to address this in 3 ways. First, by creating an online database of repair manuals and video tutorials. Second, by bringing experts from the U.S. to train key faculty and technical staff, who will then serve as a local resource in their own institutions and throughout their countries. And we plan to open Seeding Lab's regional offices with technicians who can provide service and training. In doing so, we'll create hotspots of technical expertise throughout the developing world.